Hello and welcome to another Project Diablo 2 video. I am Kordesh and today I wanted to talk about the character that I've been playing, which is a Summoning Druid. I know there's a lot of information for this class in spec already, but I just wanted to talk about, the things that I've been doing, what I've learned about it, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get on into it. Alright, so first up is the stats. So for stats, I put enough strength for gear. Storm Shield gives, strength, so I have to get this 156 strength to use it. And then we need dex for... I went max block, but you need strength and dex for your gear, max block when, you weapon swap. This is what I do. You don't have to do this. I'll go over options later. But yeah, so strength for gear, dex for max block if you do that. If not, just dex for gear, and then everything else is vitality. Pretty straightforward. Alright, so as far as the skills, very basic stuff. We have maxed out Ravens, Spirit Wolf, Dire Wolf, and Summon Grizzly. I have 1 point in Heart of the Wolverine. At one point I maxed this, but I've been playing more solo recently than with groups. And so if you're playing in groups, maxing Heart of the Wolverine is fantastic. Huge fan of that. If not, put as many points in Gust as you can because it lowers that cooldown ever so slightly. And being able to reposition your summons over and over, it really speeds up your clear. So this is basically it. It's just 1 point all this stuff, 1 point in Heart of the Wolverine, and then max out Gust. Alright, so next up, I'm going to talk about the gear. So the first thing I want to talk about is I'm currently using Weapon Swap with Athena's Wrath. I found this early on, and I've just been using it ever since. Because it gives... baby Kordesh. So the reason why I haven't been making videos is I have a second child now, and she is silly. So this is baby Kordesh, number 2, and she's going to interrupt me as I'm trying to do this video. So on Weapon Swap, +3 summon skills, +3 druid skills. It's just a really easy way to get +6. And so what I'll do is I'll summon all of my stuff with this out. So that's 2 grizzlies, 3 dyers, and then 5 wolves. As far as the ravens, you can summon them before you weapon swap. It doesn't really matter because whatever. But yeah, so huge fan of Athena's Wrath. I recommend doing that. There's a lot of weapon swaps. I mean, you can use CTA, you can use Lidless, you can use Demon Limb to enchant all of your monsters. But I like Athena's Wrath. It's just a really no-nonsense way to get +6 to skills. And if you look at my skills, right now we have 46 on Raven. I'm missing an Annie, but everything else is summon skillers and a torch. So, anyway, so back to the gear. So, for helmet, Alders is pretty much abyss. +4 to summoning is incredible. A +2 is really good. I'm using Quahagans, but you can make a +2 Druid. I think it's the rune word for like 1 Mal rune, which is pretty cheap. So I forgot what it's called, maybe Rain or something. As far as my amulet, +3 summon skills is very decent. And then we've got, right now, Chance Guards. Really, you can put anything here. Let's see here. I think I've got some like resist gloves. Really whatever you want to put here. I like Chance Guards because I have about 100 magic find with it. Other than that, the 3 things that I'm missing right now are 2 skill rings, and I have a dog interrupting me too. Okay, so I'm missing 2 skill rings, and I'm missing Arachnid Mesh. So these are kind of just what I'm using in place of it. I'm using a Ravencross. Being frozen doesn't matter that much with this build, and in fact later on maybe I'll put a Chamrune in this, but it doesn't matter a whole lot because your summons can still get frozen. And you're not really the one like doing the damage and stuff. So if you get frozen, like you can just teleport to safety. As far as boots, Alders are great. If you get some really good rare boots, that's also great. 1 second. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it for the gear. As far as charms, we're using all plus skillers, and then just torch, and then resist or magic find small charms, whatever to max out resistances. As you can see, my resists are very much garbage until I weapon swap. And what I absolutely love is this setup. So this is an incredibly good defensive setup. So I'm using a Wizard Spike. Yep, okay. So I'm using a Wizard Spike with a Resistance Jewel in it. So as you can as you can see, it's 87 all res, which is incredible. So, I mean, my resistances are just fantastic. God damn it. Alright, anyways, so my resistances are incredible, and then my Storm Shield makes me incredibly tanky, so I've got, 29% PDR from the Storm Shield, and I can block. So basically what I can do is, I can walk up, and I can just kind of spam Gust, and without any real danger. My health is on the lower end, which is, you know, fair. But, I mean, I can just teleport around wherever I want. And the Solar Creeper will eat corpses and kind of heal up me and my minions. So even if I take some damage, it'll generally regen up. If I go to half health, then I'm using a rejuve. So that is the gear. Alright, next up, let's talk about the Mercenary. So the Mercenary's... oh my goodness. This baby. Very chatty right now. Okay, so let's talk about the Mercenary. So right now I'm using a Faith. Unfortunately, I hit the lowest fanaticism, which is, it is what it is, but I found a friend of mine found a 15 ED Gorgon crossbow, so we socketed that and put it in there, and it's doing really well. I have Materials Might. Lowest Might roll, which stinks, but it does have +1 to all skills. I picked this up for, I think, about an ohm-ish, so that's good. We're using the Andy's Helm. And I wanted to talk about these plus skills. So +1 from this, +2 from this. It actually increases the Vigor aura, and you have to have plus all skills to increase any of the auras on any of the mercenaries, or the skills. So, pretty important stuff. Other than that, this stuff is kind of a hodgepodge. So we have some lifesteal on this with 20 IAS. The reason why I'm using this belt, it has resistances, which is great, but it has a crap ton of strength, and I need strength to hit the Tyraels. These boots also just have kind of nice resistances on them. And then I think for this I have 20 IAS, which I also like for hitting the IAS breakpoint or whatever. So we, yeah, that's basically the Mercenary. And having Might, Fanaticism, Heart of the Wolverine, and yeah, all those buffs for all the summons is very, very good. Alright, so the big reason, why did I play a summoner? Because I have this baby. So if I have to AFK and just stop for a minute, yeah, all my summons will kill stuff for me. So basically, when I'm out and about, I just use Summon Raven without having to weapon swap back. It's still level 40, and once I get Annie, 2 skill rings, and a Rax, it'll get to 44, which is still pretty damn good. But as you see when I weapon swap, it'll be level, you know, all my summons will be about level 50 once I get my full maxed out gear. And so I'll just do a quick chaos. My maps aren't particularly fast, but they are very safe and consistent. And that's actually really nice because, one, you can easily level up, but two, you're not dying and losing gold. And so really the playstyle is you just kind of teleport, and then you cast a couple Ravens. You can run. The run speed's pretty fast. As you can see, my run speed, which is somewhere... Run walk is 43% with the Vigor aura. So, I'm sorry, without the Vigor aura. And so yeah, I'm pretty quick for running, but Gust is on a pretty short cooldown, so it's nice and it's fast. Oh, sometimes you do get chunked. I mean, most of your defense is in mitigation, but when you do get hit, you know, you do have to pay attention. And let's go ahead and identify this charm later. Sorry, I'm playing with the baby is challenging, I'll tell you that. So that's why I am living that summoner life this league. And yeah. So as you can tell, we can kind of just teleport, reposition, pop seals. Okay, so weakens all my summons, which makes them worse. Need to resummon my Ravens, and they're all gone. So, I mean, very, very easy. Like I said, you're not going to be S-clearing maps. You're not going to be as fast as, like, a Nova Sorceress or whatever. But it's incredibly easy to play. I do find summoning Ravens over and over kind of tedious. So that's a thing. And, yeah, so... Now, the big thing is, with this setup, I don't have a source of Amplify Damage. Now... I don't actually care that much because generally I'm dueling with a curse support character that has -70 PDR from Amp and Decrep, and maxed out -65 lower res and 58% lifesteal. So like really curses I don't care that much about, but I will show you the setup I would run if I wanted to go that route. So as you can see, I'm kind of in the middle of all this, and didn't really matter. Nice and tanky. I'll identify this jewel. It is trash. Now let's go clap Diablo. And I'm going to take off this weaken real fast, just to kind of show you how fast you do Diablo without Amplify Damage, but also by just telestomping onto him. So we're going to teleport over here. Okay, baby is all over the place. So here's Diablo. It's killing a couple of my summons. That just happens, but he's down, and we got to circle it. Let's go ahead and identify that. Oh, bless you. Alright, it's garbage, but it's going to sell for max, so we're going to keep it. Man after kill rune's always good, so that our jewel's always good. And that's pretty much it. I will have another video of me doing a map, solo and with a group. But, yeah, I highly recommend this build for really anyone that wants to play a summoner. It's very easy. This gear is pretty dang cheap. The summon skills are like 10 to 15 World Stone shards. At this point, it's probably even cheaper. Wizard Spike is free. Storm Shield, kind of expensive. Body armor, the most you have to spend is a Mal rune for that rain rune word or whatever. +2/+2 alders might be a little bit pricey, but not too bad. You can always get a 1/1 or 1/2 and still be fine. Druid Summoning Amulet is 2 World Stone shards. This gear is incredibly cheap. So, like, you can basically get off the ground for absolutely nothing. And then the other stuff that I want to talk about is early game. When you don't have a lot of plus to skills, what you can do is you can get body armor that has 4 open sockets and then a helmet that's 3 open sockets from vendors. And what you could do, I think I recently cleared out my inventory, but what you can do is you can perfect topaz all of them. And we're talking, you're getting like 150 magic find. And then with no gear, you just go straight to Outer Cloisters and you go south into the Monastery Gate. And so right as soon as you get to Hell, you can come this way and you can farm pits with basically no gear. You could pretty much do it naked, and if you perfect topaz it, a 4-socket body armor and a 3-socket helmet, you'll have so much magic find. So right now I've got about 101 magic find. If you do that setup, you'll have about 150, and the monsters here are really easy because it's like Devilkin and just easy monsters. And so you can run around here, and my loot filter hides a lot of stuff right now, so might not be able to show all of it. But it's such a good way to farm early. And then once you get a little bit of items, a little bit of plus skills, then I would try and do Chaos. And once you can do Chaos really easily, just farm that over and over. And then basically once you get your full charm set up and kind of like you're set up pretty well, that's when you can break into maps. So incredibly easy gearing progression, pretty cheap, very effective. It's not going to be the fastest build, it's not going to be the best build, but you know, as far as making sure that you can start to finish kind of progress through everything and beat the game, it's just very, very good. So, yeah. One quick thing I wanted to mention, when you're starting off with the Summoning Druid, you definitely want Amplify Damage, and instead of Vigor, like when you have absolutely no gear. So all you have to do is you go to Act 4 and you get a Dark Mercenary from Act 4. So, you know, any of these dark, and they will cast Amplify Damage for you, and that'll be a huge boost to your damage. If you want to equip them with items, I would highly suggest the Nausea set. So if you get all 3 of these, it's going to be like +6 to all skills, resistances, FCR. It's going to make them pretty damn good. So just go ahead and do that when you're starting off. And then once you get some decent items, or really an Amplify Damage proc bow, then I would start using the Act 1 Mercenary with Vigor. And then, you know, over time you can get either Beast or Faith, whichever to get you Fanaticism. Alright, so if you want to get an Amplify Damage on your character, I would highly recommend using this shield, the Headhunter's Glory. So it gives a 12% chance to cast level 31 Amplify Damage on striking. Now, as a summoner, striking is not always the easiest thing to do. So I would also recommend not running the Act 1 Mercenary, or at least not with Faith. So what you could do is you could run a Beast instead. So weapon swap to a Beast in the Headhunter's Glory. And this gives you the Fanaticism aura, and it allows you to transform into a werebear, and then you can hunger and maul things, and basically run up to things and just attack with your summons, and that'll allow you to proc the Amplify Damage. Or what you could do is you could run a Beast and instead run an Amplify Damage bow for the Act 1 Mercenary. Vigor is still incredibly good, so I really, really like Act 1 Mercenary for Vigor, the fire one. But yeah, so there's options here, and I can possibly see if I can proc this just with the Wizard Spike. So we'll go to, I don't know, something just random real quick. Okay, let's go to like Arcane Sanctuary, because they've got Fizz immunes. Alright, so let's see here. Can we proc it? Okay, I think it just did. It's really hard to tell. But anyway, yeah, so you can basically just use that and stab stuff. And as you can see, chance to block is atrocious. Don't try and go max block with this. This item's super cheap. You can put 3 diamonds in it, and when you put 3 diamonds in it, you just get a crap ton of resistances. As you can see, we're still crazy resist capped. And yeah, I think that's kind of one way to go about it. I will say that summoning ravens while trying to attack things, and the attack rating's not terrible. So as you can see, 92% chance, but if we go and get all the auras and stuff that we have, I mean, we're pretty much have max chance to hit. So you could really just, I mean, if you want to just walk up and poke things with a wizard spike, you can. But I really enjoy the tankiness and PDR of Storm Shield. So that's kind of my preference, but I played around with this. It's a good way to get Amplify Damage for basically free. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this guide, and I'll see you next time.